Max B like free the wave, like or he's still in jail and all that. So yeah, we about to watch shit about him.
I just be me. I don't even pay this shit no attention. I'm a solo artist. Niggas wanted me to be up under them writing songs and shit all. That ain't my shit.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, Max B good dress though. Song's a fly nigga though. I'm not gonna lie. I think he came up with the word wavy. You know, just like my name said, WavyOcho. You know, but that's the name I just like. You know, WavyOcho just the name I just came up, just randomly that came up though. But Max B like he came up with the name, wavy and all that. Like, y'all see like the glasses. Max B wanted to present himself as a wavy guy. You are like, feel me? Like he wanted to present himself as a wavy, like fresh, guy.
I never wanna go back in there. Never wanna go back. Never wanna go back. I wanna change shit. This shit about to be like Snoop Dogg and Johnny Cochran. Move quick, man. Shot this boogie, move away. I mess you soon, man. You already know, man. To do this, man. You don't right to work. You don't see somebody go right to work? I'm going right to work like I've never left. You're gonna see some shit you never seen. You're gonna hear some shit. Hey, yo, squad, what's the drill? Back with another video, man. You know Max B is one of the biggest names in the music industry. He's had a major impact on the industry on the low. But let's just say his path to success hasn't really been that easy. He's someone that's tried to have it all, but because he trusted the wrong person, ended up having to serve a 75-year prison sentence. His journey has been anything but simple. So in this video, we're gonna be doing a full rundown of who Max B is, his musical successes, his behind-the-scenes failures, and how everyone he was close to ultimately played a part in him having to potentially deal with over 7 decades in prison. So without further ado, let's skip the play and get down to business. Max B wasn't always Max B. He started off simply being Charlie Wingate from the streets of NYC. He was dealt the same hand that most African-American men in the 70s were dealt. One that involved a hustle to get by mentality, and most of the time things would go wrong, landing the men in jail. The same happened to him too. He was in the streets as a teenager, and he did find himself on the wrong side of the law a few times. But since he was just a teen, he'd usually weasel himself out of getting arrested. A lot of the time, he didn't even get noticed, but all that does to a kid is teach them to continue going that way. It wasn't that long before he was 18 and went in for robbery that was supposed to go perfectly, but didn't. Charlie was arrested and got handed an 8-year prison sentence. That meant that by the time he got out, he'd be past his mid-20s. In prison, he had a lot of time to think. Most people flourish when they're free, but he was the type of person that would end up doing much better locked up than he ever could on the outside. He spent most of his time writing songs, hooks, and even random sentences that would later become lengthy raps. It was as if his creativity started flowing and it just wouldn't stop. In 2005, his sentence ended, and when he got out, he brought his songs out with him. The man had drive, so much of it, so he decided to take the stage name Max B, short for Max Bigavelli, which Bigavelli is a mixture between Biggie, Jigga, and Machiavelli. A lot of confidence. And he became a full-time rapper. He had already done half the work with writing the songs out. All he had to do was record them, and well, he got the work right away. But while he was still in the early stages of recording his songs, he ended up falling back on the streets. He thought that since he had already been in prison once, he could do a good job of staying out, but it only took him about a year before he got arrested again. And this time, things were a lot more serious. It was a robbery gone wrong in Fort Lee, New Jersey, with $30,000 in cash was at stake, but because several people got involved, things went haywire fast. A 29-year-old man was shot point blank and passed away on the spot. Max B was nowhere near the scene during the crime though. The person that pulled the trigger was actually allegedly Max B's stepbrother, Kelvin Leardom. The police didn't have enough to tie Max B to the case until his girlfriend, Gina Conway, turned herself in and was taking a plea deal and ratted Max B out. She claimed the whole robbery was Max's idea. Gina was an exotic dancer in Sin City, and that's where she met the victim that was always flaunting his bags of money around. So she told Max B about it, and the two allegedly roped his brother in and got to work, only for panic to set in at the last minute when the money was nowhere to be found, and Leardom freaked out and shot the man in the head. Max B was arrested and spent almost almost a year in jail before being released on a $2 million bail on July 11th, 2007. When he got out again, he took it as another chance to make it big. So instead of trying his luck on the streets again, he made music his main focus. He threw himself into it and
You don't have to be in the hood, bro. Like, you really do not have to be in the hood. There's no point of you being in the hood. Like, you be in the hood, like, while you have a name, like that means like that means anything could go wrong, bro. You get robbed, you get killed, all that, bro. Like, you don't have to be in that type of environment anymore. You already got a name for yourself, bro. You already got attention. So yeah, I don't understand, man.
throw a camera on and get him in
touch with somebody that can help catapult him to a level of success that he wanted. He took the request seriously and got him in touch with Jim Jones, the man that was going to make Max B's dreams a reality. Jim met Max B and they vibed together instantly, so well that he decided to start Bird Gang, and Max B was one of the first members, along with the members Stack Bundles, R.I.P., and Mel Matrix, who's currently locked up because of Tekashi, and they started recording music like no tomorrow. Things started for Max B on the solo tip with his debut mixtape, $1 Million Baby.
Use myself, my niggas M. A to the XB, chicks say I got a big and I'm sexy.
And with it, he took the world by storm in hip-hop on the underground. People all over were blown away by how great he was just creating melodies out of nowhere. It was as if he thought in rap. The craziest part of it all is that he wasn't just writing for himself, but he was also writing for Jim Jones. Some of Jim's biggest hits like We Fly High were written by Max B, but behind the scenes, things weren't all success. Not for Max B anyway. While Jim was making about $15,000 to $20,000 for each of his performances, he was only making $300. In an interview, he talked about how he had to write 10 albums for Jim just to get out of his contract with him. Since he was so desperate to get Jim off his back, he worked extra hard to get it all done. He talked about how Jim didn't do any of the work at all. He wrote all of the songs, hooks, and melodies. Jim just rhymed everything on screen.
Well, you know, I made the credit, I made the hooks, I made the melodies. Yeah. I'm the man. He just was a part of it.
It took him a while to figure out how to get out of that toxic cycle of working to boost somebody else's career while being...
Damn, Max B had to like write Jim Jones' album, all his shits, his songs and all that, melodies, hooks, verses, all that. Damn, that's mad work, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That seemed like mad work.
underpaid himself.
But when he did, he started distancing himself from Jim and Bird Gang altogether and focused on creating his own mixtapes. He released one classic mixtape after another in a row, just putting his music out there for the world to hear without anything standing in his way, waiting to take credit for it. Just when he thought he was set for life, that botched robbery case he was on bail for came to a conclusion, and while Gina was facing 12 to 18 years, Max B was sentenced to an unbelievable 75 years in prison, even though he was not the one that pulled the trigger, and there wasn't any significant proof that it was him that came up with the crazy plan in the first place. Max B was still nonchalant about everything. He didn't think he would really be behind bars for 75 years. He even appeared on a going to jail interview.
Yeah, man. These my boys before I go in the, we walk the plank. We going up in there, style, man. Let's go, man. Head high, man.
On the fans front, though, there was outrage. It seemed that since Max B was a rapper and the profession is thought of as one where criminals come together to break the law, he could have been used as an example to keep others from staying onto the streets themselves. But either way, he was sentenced and things looked worse than ever before. But this was different. This time, it wasn't just Charlie going to prison, it was Max B. And he wasn't going to let some bars stop him from living his best life. So he decided he would keep going. He had already worked on Coke Wave 2 with French Montana. They continued to...
Oh, by the way, French Montana, he be saying, like, he be jacking that. Like, he be saying, like, Max B's about to come out, Max B will be home, like, Max B will be home and all that shit. But Max B is not home, bro. Like, he's still in jail, bro. Like, what's up, man? Like, it's been a long while. It's been mad long since this man, Max B's in jail. But when's he truly gonna come out? Like, that ass.
Worked together even after Max B was behind bars, and they got closer as friends before he went in. In fact, it was the musical partnership with Max B that made French Montana hot and got him in several record deals. French has always been considered one of Max B's biggest advocates. He's even been all these years trying to get Max B out of prison, apparently with the help of Kim Kardashian. But for now, that hasn't really worked out, although his sentence has been reduced from a maximum of 75 years to just 12 years, and he was also able to get his charges dropped down to aggravated manslaughter. Because of the sheer amount of music that he recorded, there was so much material that other artists were able to use for their own songs. Some of the songs he was featured in didn't even use song recordings, but instead voice recordings from whenever he could call from prison, because every word this man would say would usually be a masterpiece on its own, one that needed to be taken to the fans. Also, he has been releasing some hot projects lately straight from his prison cell. Joints like House Money, Charlie, and Negro Spirituals are actually some of his best work lyrically. I suggest that you guys check it out. Even though Max B has now already been in prison for a whopping 12 years, he's managed to keep his career afloat. In the past few years, he's made his way on the internet too. He even has a verified Instagram account. Not only that, but he frequently goes live from prison.
They got us in on some bullshit, but it is what it is. It's gonna be a quick joint. You see the dreads dripping.
And it's pretty much acting like jail time hasn't affected him at all. He's expected to be released from the dreaded 75-year turn 12-year sentence in the next year or so. And with it, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with again. I just know it. He talked about how he got the sentence reduced in an interview with Vlad.
Before the case came back before the judge made an actual decision, was the time to turn the whole case over. I'm seen it out. I couldn't go through waiting for another decision for the court. They would never let down. So I took 20. So that with my time, man, and once I go down, once I get full minimum, I'll be down to about 12 and a half years.
Basically said that it took a while and a lot of convincing and maneuvering, but he's gotten to the point where he wanted to be at. If you think about it, Max B's actual rapper career was only about 4 years long, because that's how long he spent on the outside recording material. So when he does get out, he might just flip the hip-hop industry upside down. And well, those turn of events are going to be insanely interesting to see. Well, I'll catch y'all when I double back round for the next vid. And remember,
let me know. If he like, whenever he gets out of jail and he decides to like come out with songs, would y'all jack it, bro? Would y'all jack it, bro? Or like, do y'all think like Max B is gonna be bigger than ever? Because I ain't gonna lie, even if he like comes out, like gets out of jail, I don't think he's gonna be like the biggest, artist, because you gotta understand, there's mad like nowadays is mad like younger artists like TikTok, artists is like coming up right now, like the mad younger audience like coming up right now. So yeah, bro, like, do y'all think Max B like if whenever he comes out, like, would y'all jack his songs if he come out with a song? Let me know. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Y'all know the vibes. So we're just checking out you are.